That's good. I like the way you creep around sometimes. It excites me.
Oh, boy, am I excited. I am excited.
I can smell it.
I can smell that, too. What is that? Is that cleaning solution?
I think they call it musk. Similar to Elon Musk.
Hello, people. Sorry about that. Hello, everyone.
Yes. I'm happy to be here. Once again.
Me too. How's it going, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 25. We are
A
quarter.
Ooh, that was good.
That was
That
good.
wasn't even something we practiced.
Yeah, that was the rehearsal went well. Anyways, this is episode 25. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Pack X podcast. You know what we're doing, and we're with you. You're with us.
Here on the Pacific Experience.
Pack X. Austin. Dude.
Lloyd.
We both are just staring. We know.
Lloyd.
We know. What the fuck is going on out here? Dude, there is so much shit going on.
Oh, God.
What's
A
going
lot.
on?
Something-
I'm sorry. How have you been, first of all? Because
Yo,
before we
let's-
dive into all the shit that's
before-
going on,
Okay, I can agree with
your
that.
pictures have been amazing on Instagram. How have you been? What the fuck have you been doing? They're beautiful. What are you doing, man?
So one, I've been working a lot, so I haven't gone out. I went out to Point Defiance. But
Okay.
that's because fall is coming in, right?
Ye-
It's
yes, it
coming in
is.
and it's going quickly. Well, actually, it's not going quickly. They're actually projecting that it's going to be pretty hot through the middle of November, and we might have a late winter.
Interesting.
But basically, I'm just spending more time.
Climate change.
That's not real. Wait, we might create it, but it's too late to be a problem now to fix it. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
So, been going out and hanging out there. I've been downloaded this mushroom identifier app.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because my roommates, they like to cook.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be cool to find psychedelic mushrooms.
Right.
I think identifying those are much harder than identifying the regular cooking mushrooms. But it's just one thing to look for, because it's one of those things where you don't recognize it until you start seeing, like, oh, they're everywhere. I want to know what that one is. I want to know what that one is. But
Totally.
So I've just been getting out to Point Defiance. So you go to Point Defiance Park, right?
Yeah.
And you can drive the loop. There's the Narrows Bridge viewing area. So what you do is you park at that, and you start taking the trails along that cliff edge. And there's actually a spot where it's like, it probably started off as people just going down to the beach, but it's sort of eroded over time to this, like, tree and root system. But it's this, like, pathway now to get down to the beach.
Cool.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of trash down there. So
That
one
sucks,
day I went down
man.
there and
I freaking hate that.
yeah, I'm gonna post a sign. I think it's like, "Hey, dipshits." You know, the logic of, like, honestly, because
Hey,
it's crazy.
dipshits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ass fuckers and shitheads, listen up. But like, you have a case of beer, right? It's filled with liquid. It's heavy. You drink said case of beer. You smash the cans. Everything is lighter and more compact now, and then you just roll it off a cliff edge.
Right.
So you should probably just take a sharpened stick and stake it in the ground and jump on it.
No
really
kidding,
hard.
dude. I feel the same way when the way that you say you just want to put a sign up. That's the same way I feel when I see it. I'm like, I just want to, like, camp out here and just wait for someone to do it and be like, what are you doing?
Exactly. That's my fantasy.
Like, why is it so hard to just hold on to it?
Yeah.
Throw it away in a garbage.
It makes zero sense, and you're just like you're saying, like, I want to be there. I want to be
makes you
there.
mad,
I want to
right?
be there. Yeah, it makes
Yeah. Like,
I wanna-
I go home and I beat, like, I.
me. Oh,
No.
wait.
I'm just kidding.
If you're gonna say beat off, it might be a little more positive than anything.
Dude, I couldn't choose which joke I wanted to go with. I was like, oh, I can say so many. My dog, my wife,
The fence post,
my meat,
my neighbor. No, yeah. So my fantasy is that one day I will be at this trailhead and the sign will be up, and I'll look it down and be like all proud, and there's gonna be some dumbass there, like his friends, be like, huh, and toss his bottle over the edge.
Yeah.
And the second that you just hear it hit the plant,
like a fucking
just-
cheetah out of the fucking.
and I'm gonna grab him
grass.
and be like, I will rip your soul from your spine. Just want to, and be like, you see this? This is me! It's me! That's what I want it to be like because it's horrendous. It's so lazy and nothing's going to get enforced until these kids on their Instagram are like, holy shit, this mustache crazy looking dude all sweaty came out of the woods and bashed my friend into the earth. And now we're never going to smoke pot again.
Oh my God! Speaking of that,
That's what's going to happen.
Austin now has a beautiful mustache. He was not kidding. He said last episode you would return with a mustache.
Yep.
And by God, here he is with a mustache, looking ever so prestigious.
Thank you.
What are you drinking?
I'm
we
drinking
got to go over
the
that.
champagne of beers, Miller High Life.
Champagne. I'm drinking Coca-Cola, which might explain the but I'm gonna actually join you. I think I might. Oh well, we was drinking a Corona earlier. Let's see what's in the fridge.
Yeah. So Lloyd has this fridge, this mini fridge that has some of the coldest temp I've ever seen for beer. There's new icicles caked on everything every time, which is usually a problem for mini fridges, but not for Lloyd's. It's probably some industrial mini fridge he found at some God knows what warehouse. Did you like bought it off those auctions where they open storage units and you just spend like $20 and got all this random shit?
Actually, I have no clue. That's most of the stuff I have. I don't know how I got it. To be honest with you.
It just ended up.
Oh, what?
Oh, it's yours.
Oh, it's my wife's.
It's your wife's.
Yeah, it's my wife's.
So most of the stuff that you
like
found
like I
actually
said,
your wife's.
most of
You've
the stuff
just
I have, I
claimed-
don't know how I got
you
it.
just, I married her, so now half this is my shit.
Yeah. I don't know where it came from.
I think that's what happens when you get older. Especially in college, you just find all this random stuff that you accumulate, like for waffle makers, like waffle presses or panini presses. You're like, when the hell did I acquire these? And then you think back to like, oh yeah, I got one for Christmas. I bought one at a garage sale stoned. I got stoned and forgot I had one, and I bought another one at Winco. And then you just end up with like the most random assortment of home appliances that you don't ever need. And then when you move, you're just giving it away.
Yeah.
Or like, I didn't pay the electric bill.
Reuse. What is it? Reuse. Renew, recycle, or
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Reuse, renew, recycle.
It is, yeah, that is it. Renew.
Yeah. Was that a Lloyd quote?
Yeah. Actually, when I was like 6, it was pretty.
Oh,
yeah. So, and then, it was
Way
sick.
back
I said it, and then after that, I saw it on a giant banner outside the school.
That's fucking
That's
mine.
right, dude. I was like, all right,
But
that's right. All of you listen to me. I walked out on the
6-year-old
playground.
Lloyd didn't know how to get his royalties.
Oh man,
Didn't know how
dude.
to let people know that was
I
your idea.
own that playground, man. Every time I walked by, I'd be cracking jokes to myself, and people would be laughing.
Damn.
Yeah, they'd be laughing when I walked by, man.
Yeah.
It was
I
cool.
actually, people don't know, I started ball pits, but I just had rocks in mind as opposed to
Well, they might have
plastic
been
balls.
laughing at me.
Yeah, probably. That's how it was, dude. Brutal.
Oh.
Everybody's just laughing at each other because we're all just little
That
fat
sucks.
babies. Hairy, fat babies.
Anyways.
puking And doing our thing.
Dude, I have to say, I've had a handful of people not catch me when I'm being sarcastic.
Also, they
like
take it seriously?
yeah, like I had a work call today when I was like I mentioned something. I was like, hey, what'd you do with the teriyaki? That was sitting out. And he's like, oh, I told so and so to put it in the fridge. And I was like, that's funny because they said that they didn't, and they asked if you could. He's like, oh, I didn't. And I was like, oh, that's fine. So we just have things missing and wasted food. And I'm kidding.
Are you kidding in that tone?
Yeah, 100. Yeah, in that tone. I'm kidding 100%. And he's like,
I'd take that seriously. I'd be like, oh, shit, I'm sorry, man.
he responded back. He's like, why didn't you eat your fucking food?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and I was like,
that's an East Coast response right there.
Yeah. I was like, he didn't say it like, yeah, you did actually.
Fucking
Yeah,
wrong
he
with
did.
you?
And then
This kid's starving, and you're just leaving your food out for the flies to eat.
Yeah, exactly. And the worst part is like, I thought that I was being obviously sarcastic because I answered the
Oh,
phone.
okay,
I answered
okay.
the phone, and I was like, hey, what's up? And then he's like, and like talks to me. I was like, I think I didn't give enough time for it to give him my tone yet, and he just like dove in with words, and then
Yeah.
and then my first response after him talking for like a minute or two was, "Hey, what'd you do with that teriyaki?" And then he's like that, and I was like, "Great." So we have missing product,
Great.
and we have just wasted food. He's like, well, man, why didn't you fucking eat it? And that's when I was like, yeah.
Hey, by the way, I tell you suck at your job.
And then we both duked it out, met up in the parking lot and fought.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
Did you call it the parking lot or the asphalt? Because that's a 90s term right there.
Anyways,
I said asphalt the other day, and somebody was like, what? I was like, blacktop? And they're like,
cement.
what? Yeah, and you're just like, man.
What?
Do you know what a cul-de-sac is? Yeah? Okay. Thank God.
What'd you
One
call
out
me?
of 3.
What? Your sack is cold? What? Then warm it up, bro.
Blacktop like that kid from Hey Arnold?
There's nothing
Gerald?
wrong with wearing 2 pairs of underwear, man. Especially during this time of year.
Yeah, it's getting like 45 degrees, and everybody's bundling up like there's going to be a foot of snow on your door tomorrow.
I do wear like 3-4 socks to
God.
bed sometimes.
Grow some body hair.
I have plenty.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking
I
cold.
remember. I remember.
I remember.
Yeah.
It's not I know. It's
Yeah.
I remember.
Freshman PE class where we all had to do the swim test, and yeah, you thought it was appropriate to just have your pubes pulled out of the front of your swim shorts, and you walked around and it looked like this little ball, black like chia pet was just protruding out of the waistband of your shorts.
I thought I was the only guy rocking it, man. I was like, well, I might as well fucking show
Hey, wait,
this
is this
shit
a
off.
thing? Somebody told me this is a thing.
Dude, bro, I made it a thing.
It was. It looked like you conditioned it a little bit. It was voluptuous.
Holy shit.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
But so yeah, this is a good. This is a
how do we
smooth
switch
intro.
from that?
Oh no, we got here.
But we have to. Regardless, I mean, we like to have fun, but dude, there is so much bullshit
Oh god,
going on
I think
right
just
now,
the
man.
biggest one, and because we can just gloss over it, but there's a lot. Is you read about that reporter that got killed in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Huge. And I think what's interesting about it is that for the first time, at least since I think I've been alive and been like available to news, that this is sort of like a secret agent-esque type of killing that has been now brought into public eye of like, oh yeah, dude, this guy was. It's not. What was it? He wasn't against the government, but he had written critical articles regarding some of the governmental operations or the leaders in power.
He mainly, I think he had talked against, I think that's the right word to use.
Yeah.
Not poorly for or whatever. I think the word to use the word against. He talked against essentially
The Saudi prince.
the Saudi prince, their leader. This was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'm not educated enough to really know the terms, because honestly everything that I've read is from an article, and I don't really believe in articles, so who knows what's really going on.
Because the information, is written for people to
exactly.
read, so how do you know?
It's so hard for me to be confident about an opinion.
Yeah.
With it.
But what's
regardless, the guy was killed.
Dude, he
because
was
of
not
what
only
he
killed,
wrote
was
about.
dismembered.
Not only exactly.
His body came back to
Tortured.
the examiner headless.
Tortured, yeah.
Jesus.
So, that
Less
did
than Todd.
happen.
That's some KGB style shit.
Yeah. I mean, so that
walked into
that
the
did
embassy and didn't leave, and they actually from just like
That's
reports,
so
but the
terrible,
basic
man.
information is that he walked in, he didn't come back out, but whether it was the Saudi prince's like team unit, whatever, some people are saying it's a rogue operation, but somebody left trying to look like him, so they believe somebody tried to be a double to say that, like, to cover up, like, oh, he did leave alive. Another thing that I have learned, just again from reading, so this is not at all saying it's correct, but like there's
Yeah.
also notions that the CIA knew beforehand that people in Saudi Arabia regarding, like the Saudi prince, they did not like him, and they were actually wanting him dead actively. Like there was talk through the wire.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's possible.
But I think it's just like the cover up, all this like shit out of a movie. So that's what's interesting about it to me. There's also we have a huge weapons deal with Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
So Saudi Arabia is that they're buying weapons from us. They're buying American weapons like guns. From what I gather, like vehicles, other like
that's what
munition
that's as
systems.
much as I know. Yeah.
And this is just listing off at NPR. I feel like that's not super biased. They tend to report a lot of information, but
I find NPR, dude, a back and forth fucking, and I listen to the fuck out of NPR on
Yeah.
on a daily religious
Yeah, like in the
basis.
morning and whatnot.
Morning,
Yeah, yeah,
afternoon,
yeah.
and evening. Yeah, totally, for sure. And I think it's a back and forth fucking paddle of bias and then not.
Not biased.
And
But
I
they
think
had-
that's their style, and I think that's why I keep listening to them.
Yeah.
Man, is because I'm fascinated with trying to find out if
Yeah, because they
if it's
bring both sides
fucking
pretty fairly on.
Yeah, they do. But
There was a
there's some
but the person
reporting lately
the
that
person
I-
that they had though was it was somebody that was at a university that dealt like with arms dealings, and what they were focused on was that so there's criticism on the president because he's not stopping this arms deal. It's a lot of money for us, but also the criticism is that this person was saying that so the president had said that like, well, if we don't sell them weapons, they'll buy weapons from China or Russia, and that's a big fear sort of tactic of like because
Yeah.
we're not necessarily allies with China or Russia.
right.
The President Trump actually was it John something, John Ban I can't remember his fucking name, but
I know.
the
I
nuclear
yeah, I know who you're
arms
talking
whole
about.
thing
Yes.
going on where but anyways,
It's-
this person was saying that what he says in regards to that of like, oh, they'll buy weapons from China or Russia. The person was saying, this professor, and I believe it was a woman, so I'll use the pronoun she. She was saying that it's not that easy to start buying new weapons from different countries and have it translate. Like, that's not how it works. And because she's saying, like, not only like schematics, but the systems and how they operate, disassemble, fire. And so she was just sort of saying it would lose us out on money, but it would almost be a step backwards for them because they'd have to learn all these new things, but they're used to American weapon systems.
Right.
So that was interesting to me is that
That is very
because
interesting.
well, and like, what is the gauge response? Like, obviously,
Yeah.
there's an investigation, and the investigation is going, and it's been sort of like half truthful, half not truthful. Another thing is, they think it could have been a rogue operation, that it may have come from the Saudi prince. So there's rogue operation of a team that killed him in the Saudi prince's or in this embassy, and it's being pinned on the Saudi prince. Saudi prince didn't want him alive, or somebody in his party didn't want him alive, so they killed him. So there's all these fucking things thrown in there.
man, this is like fucking like. Dude,
But it's been all over.
This is like real
It's been all
fucking Game
over.
of fucking Thrones,
Yeah,
dude.
it's been all over, and that's why it caught my attention. It's just like on my phone, on the
It's
news,
fucking
it just
crazy.
constant. So I was like, I guess I'll just listen into it for a little bit, and it just was. It's like, this is spy killer shit. Like, this is James Bond-esque type of stuff that goes on. Like,
But it
oh
it
my
fucking
god, it's
matters,
Jason
man.
Bourne. No, it's not Matt Damon killing him. It's
Right.
actual fucking people.
And this shit actually matters, man. This is it's between nation and nation, man,
Yeah.
and very, 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 very involved, important nations
Mhm.
as well.
Somebody made a good point about like this is now becoming a battle of like somebody using free speech, and you're getting killed for it, which is a
Right.
constitutional
The-
right. And so I think that's a good point
right,
about it.
a right that we, yeah, man. It's one country, colliding with the right that we are very proud of here, that you and I are exercising right now. Exercised over there. That's the result.
Yeah.
During and immediately after a strong agreement that is to enhance both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And along with creating a ripple effect throughout the world with other nations involved.
Yeah.
And then this happens. It's when it comes down to just something so simple as someone reporting.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts, man.
World today, dude. There's a lot of energy
Crazy.
going around.
Crazy, man. Fucking crazy. Well, anyways, what's going on locally? Well, first of all, how much time are we at? What do we got?
Yeah. God, fucking.
Son of a
Hey.
This is stupid fucking piece of shit.
This goddamn technology, all these whiz kids putting together computers that still got pimples on their face.
Georgia, we're 19 minutes in. I tell you what.
Like they ever sweated and worked hard for a day in their goddamn life.
Dude, I'm seeing so much ridiculous shit every day. Dude, life, I don't need I still need to watch a little bit of Planet Earth, I might need to play a video game now and then, but I don't need entertainment anymore other than that. Because waking up and going out just even within a local town that's very simple, what I mean is even society. If I'm not entertained by the nature, I'm entertained by society recently because society is getting more and more and more ridiculous.
Yes.
Very ridiculous. It's
'Cause
hilarious.
We live in.
It's
I mean,
funny.
just watching.
It's entertaining.
Well, yeah, it's.
Anyways, man. People are people, but the point is that
I agree with you.
the
Sorry.
local people are
So much
entertaining.
flood in my brain,
It's
and I
fine.
disagree with you.
The local people are entertaining, but the local people matter because there's local shit going on.
Lloyd, tune us in on what's going on in the Pacific Northwest.
So what's going on in the PNW? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dive into some of the local votes going on.
Ooh, voters
Um,
pamphlet.
Yeah, we got a voters
You just
pamphlet
gotta
here.
vote for the
Oh.
hottest.
Anyways, my point is coming out of I think starting research from the voters pamphlet first. I think to me might be a wise move.
Because you don't allow. I would agree because you don't allow perceptions from news media and other outlets to
Right.
think how you would vote.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's something that we'll look into after the break. What else is going on? These pictures you're taking, they're fucking gorgeous. Other than the politics of Washington State, other than that kind of shit going on in the PNW.
Big, sorry, sorry. You gotta
You-
cut it. Nala just farted. It just smells like burnt popcorn. Jeez, it's so heavy. That's why I was like, man, holy fuck. Yeah, that's I might want to check her tail to make sure. Yeah. So picture.
You looked at me like I was insane. I was like, dude, I'm just asking you about your pictures. You fucking stuck up motherfucker. You're just looking at me like you're about to like. I'm like, fuck. What's wrong with this guy?
Veins were popping.
Yeah.
Going out to Point Defiance, dude.
Yeah.
Fall.
No,
watching the
there's
season change
no,
to winter.
other than Point Defiance, dude. I've seen.
There was
some-
I posted I believe I posted photos that my brother took. I posted a photo that he took at Trillium Lake. So my younger brother is really into photography.
Trillium Lake. That looked
Yeah, and
beautiful.
he does a lot with like camera manipulation, just in terms. So like when I take photos, I take them raw and I slightly edit them. But like he takes photos raw on a camera, but the way he edits them, which is sort of like the art of photography, is you adjust like exposure, aperture, lighting, like all these things to basically manipulate the camera to naturally see what's there, and it looks edited. He edits them slightly, but so he took that picture at Trillium Lake in Mount Hood.
Yeah.
He was tripping on shrooms, and he took a bunch of other photos. But all these photos that he's taken are just like dude, just like that purple, that hue,
Yeah.
everything on the mountain with the cloud coming off. And he took one of of just like a singular tree, and there's the lake reflection, and the tree is going from like green to yellow because the leaves are dying.
Right. That's gorgeous, man.
Dude, he's
That's
been killing
so
it.
cool.
But yeah, that's one thing that we have around here that's super awesome to watch is when we watch seasons change, it's pretty fucking dramatic. Same thing from winter to spring where everything is dead and then all of a sudden all the cherry blossoms come out. Like all these things start blooming and it's just like within a week or two it's just like there's so much red, white, and yellow like blossoms and you're just like, what the fuck? It's been getting dark at like 2
Yeah.
p.m. and the sun doesn't come up until 8
It's
o'clock.
going by quick, dude, and especially the fog recently.
Ooh,
It's, like, locally
all the
around
dense
the
fog.
fog,
We have
dude,
dense fog warnings. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either, dude. I drove out towards Enumclaw, closer towards Mount Rainier, man, and I had gone out there at like 7 in the morning
Spooky.
on a super foggy morning. This was like 2 or 3 days ago. It
Fuck
was
yeah.
amazing, dude. It was so amazing. I felt like I could have thrown a baseball to the mountain and it would have hit the mountain. Of course not,
Jeez.
but just like
You got an arm that good.
right, of course, because no, but going from where
Yeah,
we
yeah.
are here and the view of the mountain that I get to see on a daily basis,
Yeah.
to just kind of like in like a blink of an eye to me, which seems like just an hour drive, and all of a sudden I'm that close. It just
Oh, yeah.
my point is that wasn't my intention. And I was intending to do other things, but then to not focus on that at all and to just be hit with that around the corner with fog clearing, it was amazing, dude.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Live in a lucky area, man.
The fog, I feel like the fog is refreshing the air. I feel like the air is just
like when
We
it's
needed
heavy
this, man,
fog,
after
it
all the
reminds
fires.
me of snow. Everything's like seems muted and quiet, but it's really fitting because
Yeah.
here we are in the
Yeah.
Puget Sound, and that's happening. You know, like whether you're down in the harbor, but like heavy fog on the water, it just gives it this atmosphere, and to me, it reminds me
Yeah,
just
it
like
does.
reminds me of home, reminds me of the sound. So
Totally.
I fucking agree with that 100%.
Yeah, man. Well, I think we're at that point where we're going to be tuning out for a break, and we're going to be coming back. We're going to be talking about some of this bullshit politics that is actually very important. This shit is not bullshit. This is very important. And what we want to do is make sure that we're here to show you and give you the Pacific Northwest Experience podcast and learn some stuff ourselves and give some educating out there and bullshit about it and have a good time.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon.
Shickadee.
Holy shit.
Break time is nice,
Break time is nice.
but Pack X Pod time is better. Welcome back. Thank you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you so much. You're with the Pack X podcast. We are with you. You can check
Always
us
with
out.
You.
Always with you, actually. Not just with you right now. We're always with you.
Those times you feel like warm and cuddly in bed. That's Lloyd and Austin with you.
We're watching you. Just kidding. You can go to packxpodcast.com. That is the best source for you to catch up on the latest and greatest from the Pacific Experience podcast. Thank you so much to the listeners out there. We're still averaging the same amount we have been, and we've increased a little bit, and we go back to where we were. But regardless, we're averaging 30 a day. And we
Nice.
have been, and that's wonderful. So thank you so much, the listeners out there. Obviously, you're coming back. You like what we're doing, and we appreciate that so
We-
much.
Absolutely. I think that's what's
Really.
fun too is that as we get to listen to our own podcasts and get better about our talking points, we sort of see what people like and dislike. It allows us to sort of cater to you guys, but also cater to how Lloyd and I want this to go.
Absolutely.
And that's what's cool. I like just being the co-pilot. I like being able to just be on here, and I just like the direction this goes. But we do appreciate it. Like, I listen to my voice all the time, and there's times where we're just like, huh, look at this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He said the
Yeah.
same thing like 5 times in a row, and I'm like, oh, that's me.
Yeah, man,
Cool.
it's been an adventure. You know, I've definitely dumped a lot of parts of my life, and especially my opinions, onto this microphone, along with keeping a lot of stuff out. Of course, like anyone who's going to go on podcast. But overall, what I ask for is any help that you can give us, and that help is by downloads, thumbs ups. Go ahead and follow us, check us out on Facebook and whatnot. But mainly, get us those downloads, give us the thumbs up, let us know what you think, give us the ratings, go ahead and subscribe. That just gives us the resources and the power that we need to take it to the next level. Where we want to get to with that next level is we want to get people who are involved in these ripple effects that we talk about. We want to get them on here to discuss some of these topics. We also would like to get out to you on more platforms like iTunes. Just little things like that. We want to get more people involved on the podcast and on the show. We've had a handful of really good people, talented, wise, and funny and ridiculous people.
Oh, yeah.
And we want to we want to go further. We want to find even more ridiculous people. We want to find even brighter people to discuss things with. So if you're one of those people, or if you want to help out, or if you're just listening and you're a fan, give us a thumbs up or reach out to us. You can go to the website at packxpodcast.com.
Do it. Anyways.
Thank
Voting.
you for hanging through that. On to the bullshit now. Anyways,
The
enough of that
bullshit
fucking
of
stupid
government
gay
and
shit
democracy
right there.
and policies that run the human life.
The war between Earth and ourselves has begun. The peace treaty on Earth is over.
Yeah.
Anyways, dude, so do you know about the initiatives?
No,
The-
I actually
the
have
votes?
not looked at my voter pamphlet yet.
Really?
I am
Okay.
registered to vote, and I got it.
Nice.
Which you should. Oh, the
I
cutoff
just
date.
looked into it like 3 days ago. So
The cutoff date is somewhere in November, I think, for
think it is.
Washingtonians.
it's like November, early November.
It's early November, yeah.
That's a good band.
Other
That's a good
states,
band.
if there's people from other states listening in and you want to vote, look at when your cutoff date is because it's coming up really soon for a lot of other states. I think California is coming up at like the end of October.
Yeah.
So, but
So
anyways,
check it out. It's important. It's
Yeah, do your fucking due diligence of being born in America, damn it.
Exactly. We talked about this on the last episode, how important it is to vote. And I thought of one of the most beautiful analogies earlier today, and I told myself I needed to write it down and did not have a pen, and now I can't remember it. That's fine. That means it's
Wait,
not.
was it
It's
don't
not
be a
meant to
pussy?
Fuck. That was it. Thank you, dude. Exactly. Don't be a bitch and go fucking vote. Because, here's one analogy. This isn't it, but look at look at things online. All right, that's how we. When you're scrolling through Facebook, YouTube, top buzz, Instagram, when you see things with likes, right? And things that also allow dislikes. So I guess not Instagram. You can't thumbs down Instagram, can you? Right? You can only heart it.
Yeah, you can only heart it.
Right?
But
Okay.
but people,
Things that you
mean
can,
nasty comments. That's
Right.
like a thumbs down. But
so,
continue.
So things that you can thumb up or thumb down, okay? The things that get thumbs up, they become more well known. They're going to show up in more feeds. They're going to get more thumbs up until it's, 5,000, 5K or whatever the hell. Same thing goes for a thumbs down. Now, think about this. If that was a initiative like what's going on now where changes are happening that you are involved in with your every day-to-day basis, doesn't matter how advanced you are in society, at what level you are involved in it, then it would matter, right? The thumbs up or thumbs down, the votes.
Yeah.
Well, think about this. Imagine a video that should have so much ripple effect or should be so important that gets put on the internet by one person and it doesn't get thumbs up or thumbs down, but everyone watches it. Not everyone. And what I mean by that is 100,000 people watch this video, but choose not to give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. That video is not going to get out, and it's just going to stay where it is, and it's going to become controlled from there because now it's not a video. Now it's something
So
that's
it's just
real.
become popularity.
Popularity. It's a
and
way of
trending and all these fucking things that just catch on for a split second.
get involved. We have the power to go onto the think of these initiatives as things on social media if you have to, if you must, because you're so involved in social media and not voting. Just go into the fucking pamphlet, go into your piece of paper and give it a thumbs up or thumbs down and do a little bit of research on it. Sorry, anyways, that was a ramble. I get fucking mad when people don't want to vote.
No, it's good.
Just vote, please. Go do it. If you don't know, then
don't be a lazy fuck.
fucking just go do it.
Don't be a
Anyways.
lazy fuck.
Anyways, we're here to educate you
Taco Bell can wait.
on where to vote if
You
you
can
want.
listen to us talk about voting right now.
Sorry.
You said initiatives. So
I
initiatives
went
that are going on for Washington State right now, and you've picked out some of them, like a few that you're interested in.
Yeah. There's like the top 4. I think there's only 4. I don't know, man.
Okay, so there's.
Anyways, let's just talk about the first one. The first one is Initiative 1631, 1631. That's the biggest one. It's also by biggest, I mean the most important, in my opinion. It's also the longest in this book.
Well, all right. So summarize. What is Initiative 1631?
Can't talk with this fucking thing. So fuck. I don't need this right now. So
You don't
I
need it.
will
Here,
refer
give
to
me
that. I will refer to that when I need to. Okay, Initiative 1631 is okay.
All right. Do you want me to read the description?
Yes, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm fired up. Let's
I
hear.
can
Let's
feel
hear
it.
a
All right.
standard.
1631 concerns pollution. This measure would charge pollution fees on sources of greenhouse gas pollutants and use the revenue to reduce pollution, promote clean energy, and address climate impacts under oversight of a public board, should this measure be enacted into law. I will say shortly, not anything about this, but like when I have been voting and reading these initiatives, it's tricky because they use a
They
lot.
are written with bias.
Oh well, like I think not only
So
written
hard.
with bias, but like the wording that they use
The
is
wording
meant to confuse you
is
too.
meant. The manipulation
Yeah.
is so
It's-
loud
You
everywhere
almost have
in
to
this book.
make it dumber. Like when
Yes.
you read it, you almost just have to, as you read, learn to be like, okay, that word is just a huge smart adjective word to describe something simple, but it fucks your
Well
reading
said.
and brain up. And
Yeah.
so I just get used to just like, okay, negate that and find out the basic meaning of it. But it really does
Right.
because it's just like you read this and you're just like, you feel overwhelmed and you feel like you don't understand. Then you just have to break down the words.
But when you hear this from a voice that comes off as non-biased, but then they do it in a complete biased way, dude. There's news. Okay, there was a stupid fucking video of this news clip from some fucking, I just keep saying news, a media outlet from around the area, and excuse me, and it said, Initiative 1631 summed up in 60 seconds. And it made me so fucking mad because it cannot be summed up in 60 fucking seconds.
Yeah.
And the way they did it was so fucking biased. So let's think about this. It's if you read about Initiative 1631, the idea sounds terrific. Okay, what it is Jay Inslee, the governor, okay, has been pushing for this for a while. 2 years ago, we voted it away. And it was a way for them to tax and charge, charge with a fee contributors of oil and carbon, right?
Greenhouse gases.
Greenhouse gases. Thank you. It's specifically, actually, not carbon. Greenhouse gases. So, okay, in doing so, with that money, they're going to take that money for projects to improve our environment. Okay, so that's the idea. All right, sounds good, right? Let's give a big fee to the bad guys, the oil companies, okay? BP, fucking Chevron, shit like that, okay? Let's tax these guys, this way of life, which is energy by oil. Here on the PackX podcast, we've been talking about free energy for many episodes. It's something I'm very passionate about. Austin gives me shit for being a fucking Elon Musk fucking fanboy. He's so right. I'm a huge fucking fan. So this does fucking matter to me. And they are the bad guys, right? The bad guys are the big oil companies, okay? They're the ones who don't want this initiative to be pushed through. This initiative is, in my opinion, is bullshit. Should not be voted for. Should not be pushed through. Here's what happens if you fucking go give them a fee. They're not paying for that fee. We are. Okay, when companies like that exist and the profit that comes in, when they get charged with more money, you think that comes from their profit? No, they raise their prices. That's how a company survives, right? They don't take it out of their fucking gross profit. They raise it from somewhere on one other end to bring the money in from there to cover for the expense here. Okay, so for example, if we want to put fucking flowers on the fucking Narrows Bridge, expect your toll to go up. That's not coming out of the fucking good to go commissioner's fucking back pocket. It's not coming out of the treasury. No. That's not going to... So anyways, that fact, so we're going to pay for that. Okay, even then, that's fine, right? If we want to pay for projects to improve our environment, that's fine, right? If you're a true environmentalist, if you, if you're a go-getter for, green earth, that's fine. But look, let's look at this. So here's the money projected for them to collect from these fees, okay? Listen, the guys who they are going after to fine and fee is good. I'm sorry, the guys they're going after are bad guys. It's good that they're going after them, but the money they're going to collect back is $2-something billion. I think 2.1 or 2.4 billion fucking dollars. All right? So, $2.4 billion. What are we going to do with that money? Austin, sir, as a wise, intelligent man, I mean that seriously, I invite you to read through all of this, if you please. I eventually stopped taking notes because I just got so involved in reading it, hunting for any accountability. Something to show how the money is going to be spent. They don't have a fucking clue how it's going to be spent. And here's how they spin it. Here's how they sell it. They say, okay, what does the people get out of this? You will get a public board. The public will get their own section, right? Their own little public board where you can voice your opinions. But all this money being collected is going to be appointed to a board that is hand-selected by the governor, Jay Inslee himself. Okay? The current plan right now for climate change and the whole fucking greenhouse gases in Washington State is to have it taken care of, or at least in progress, by 2050. Of course, because the fuckheads in control right now are going to be fucking 80 and 90 years old and won't give a fuck. Right? It's
Yeah.
out till 2050. They're saying this is going to take that and bring us to on course by 2035. Yeah, when none of you are fucking elected. So while you're in, rake in your fucking money and then bounce the fuck out? No, by taxing in disguise the bad guys and making us fucking fool for it? And what are you going to do with this money? You've been working on this for years and you can't tell us a stupid thing. So you're basically saying give us your money so we can fix the climate, but we're not really sure yet how we're going to do that. Money is not going to fix the fucking climate. Fine, fee, tax, whoever the fuck you want. What this does, if we vote this through, this is going to hold us back from cooperating with the rest of the states, with the fucking national government, from what they're trying to do, which is go after carbon. Okay, that's what's trying to be done, and we're very far from it. This might seem like a shortcut. It's not. It's actually you're going a different route. This shortcut leads to a dead end, and we're gonna miss out on the fucking trail towards free energy, towards saving our fucking environment. We're on our way there. Listen, they're gonna tell you they're gonna spend the money on solar panels and shit. I'm just guessing that. That's not fucking true. Then something else is going to come along as long as a tax or a fee or a fine there. All this is a way to make money off the fear of climate change, which I'm not saying the fear is fake or real. It's absolutely real, but they're just blending it in. It's absolutely fucking bullshit. Excuse my French. I'm very passionate about this.
Yeah.
What do you think, man?
Well, I would say especially it seems so common when we have problems like this in any branch of government, they make a board about it. And it just gets filtered and trickled down through more and more people, paperwork, but those people are getting paid. I mean, he says like elected board, but it all ends up in some monetary value in somebody's pocket. I would agree.
Yeah.
And just browsing through this, and that there's not they have plans, but they're very vague. And you would think that at least if you were that serious about reducing and fixing this issue,
Fossil fuels, that's what it is.
you would just like you would have the top people being like, this is what needs to get done. You'd be like, okay, cool, this is where 90% of this money's going to, this is where 90% of this money's going to. It all still seems very vague. I will say, especially we're in a very liberal state. Of course, I think it's curated and biased towards that. A lot of this wording and even how the initiative is written, it makes you feel like, yeah, we should do this because we don't want our Earth to die.
The way it's written and the words that they use. I was listening to the news today to KNKX. I fucking love KNKX. I love KNKX. I was listening to a section today of some fucking journalist or something, dude. And the way that they were talking about it was, I'm sorry. Forgive me. It was not the journalists. They were covering important people. I have the video. I have it recorded, and I haven't listened to it yet. And I wanted to before the podcast. But the way that the words that they're using is our children, our future. Look, those words are touching. Look. I know how to sell. I am damn good at selling.
Yeah.
Very good at selling. I know how to sell, and I'm telling you right now, the best selling I've seen in my life is the fucking media. It's insane how good they are. They sell you in such a tricky fucking way. It's bizarre, man. And the words that they don't talk about any facts. They don't talk about anything. All they do is just talk about our future, the children. And when you hear that from a non-biased voice that you've been taught to trust since you were a kid, you're like, yes, our future, our children.
I think even so. What
and of course,
it
you're
ties
like, I'm
to
going
this
to go
point.
vote for this. And then they talk about why you should do it, and they're like, and here's the reasons why you shouldn't. And they spend 30 seconds on it.
Yeah.
And they're like, because they'll have to pay more at the pump. I'm
It
not
was-
voting no against this because I have to pay on average 14 more cents. 14 more cents a gallon. On average, $16 more per month here in Washington State. What is that? 16 times 12, that much more a year,
Yeah.
right? That is what's going to happen. I'm not mad about that. I will gladly put that amount of money and more together on a tax, enforced or not, voluntarily or not, towards towards something good. But I want to know what the project is. I want to see a fucking blueprint. I want to see a PowerPoint showing me dollar for dollar where's it going. Make a presentation.
Yeah, just being informed, just having it be actually well planned, not just be like
Let's give them money
give-
and hope that they can do it,
I
and
mean-
give them 20 fucking years to figure it out.
Yeah,
No!
it's our. I mean, people always joke about it, but like, there's always construction going on the roadways here in Washington, and you know what? There's been plenty of times I'm just like, who the fuck did this project for this the Sprague Avenue exit?
Yeah.
That goes off the freeway and it's a 90-degree left turn. People got paid to do that, and who the fuck passed it through? And you're just
You know,
like,
the first time they
"Holy
fucked it
shit."
up, they had to take it down because they built it like this. It didn't fucking.
Yeah, that's what we live in. So yeah, we have a right to be like, give me yeah.
fucking bluept.
Oh,
Boss didn't give me
shit.
a good copy of
I
it.
didn't
I
real-
fell asleep, drinking, beating my fucking meat, my dip spit, fucking.
Yeah.
You know, just shit
Dude,
happens sometimes.
It's, I mean, we've seen it all, the Big Bertha tunnel, all of that. So I think for us here, or I mean, just people who give a shit, like tax money, similar to like when people want to know, like, okay, yeah, I pay tax money for like welfare. I think it's a valid argument when people
Steak
say,
is for taxpayers, man. Take a. Sorry, inside joke. Keep going.
yeah, I agree when people go like, if I'm going to be paying taxes for people that are like homeless or people on food stamps, I would like to be able to choose where it goes, or whether there's like,
But you can with voting.
Well, what I think is funny to me is that when I first started really getting into an understanding about like taxes, especially doing your own taxes and like how it breaks down, I strongly agree that I think people like on food stamps should have to take drug tests. I feel that
agree.
all these people that get government assistance, there should be
accountability.
Absolutely.
Accountability. That is what we're
Because
lacking, is
otherwise,
accountability.
you're just sitting here and you're just dumping money into people that are just honestly, they're not being grown-ups. They're being leeches to a system that allows them to be as such. You can have sympathy and empathy. People can say like, oh, like, well, you don't know their story. Fun fact, dude, life is bitch to everyone. That's why life is fair. In its own circumstance, life is unfair to everyone. I don't care if you grew up with $1 billion in your fucking pocket. There's parts of life that are unfair to you that are just as unfair to somebody that grew poor, and that's the commonality in it.
And even to the bad guys.
And people just like to play victim. But anyway, so in terms of this and this initiative, I think what's frustrating to me about, like you said, is like, I want a well thought out paid plan. I want to see steps. I want to see where my money's going to. And not only that, but like you're saying in terms of cooperation, like taxing and fining, but there's no progress. Like, what move are we making towards
money
green
is
energy?
not going to do anything.
You're not even
Cooperation
talking
is.
about eliminating it or making progress to supplement these jobs, because you want to get rid of this shit, fine. But what if there is a deserving factor to people that have been working in these industries for so long? So where's the job training for them to be working in factories to create solar panels, to be doing this, to be doing this transition?
Where's the job training for that,
Yeah.
dude? And they keep using that as an example. They're saying it's going to create jobs. It's going to create jobs. Here's the thing, man. Dude, jobs should not be a fucking issue, because you know what? Traffic is so fucking bad. Sometimes I wish that there was a fucking police officer directing traffic, or someone trained directing traffic over the fucking lights, because the lights don't do a good enough job. When it gets so fucking jammed and you sit at a red light, you sit at a light for 2 red lights, and I mean shit like that, dude. Why don't we stick one person at each fucking intersection to guide traffic and make the flow of society faster, make it flow more smooth? Let's fix our time management in public with people guiding traffic, making shit safer that way. But if we're worried about jobs, that will create a ton of jobs. You're gonna have to get trained for that. It's like, you know what I mean? I don't think using the excuse to create jobs, honestly, is that an issue right now?
Well, I don't think it's an issue right
I mean,
now.
it's always going to be an issue for those who don't have a job.
I mean, I've
but-
heard a little bit about in terms of like
At least I'm not hearing it talked about.
we have a
today.
really high minimum wage in Washington State, but in terms unemployment has been going down. But I will say the wage growth has been significantly slowed. It's not nearly as big as it was in terms of the early 2000s, which means that
Well, especially since everything's been climbing since 2008.
like unemployment has been going down, so people have been getting jobs, but
The market's
more
been
people
bullish
getting
as
jobs.
fuck the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it means that people aren't getting paid as what they should get paid, but there's a ton of people out there, so they're talking about that saturation. I will say, just to bring it back, in terms of feeling and how media uses words to, I think, sell and engage people, it was when President Trump was running against Clinton, and it was actually one of his like, whether it was one of his like soon-to-be appointees or I would say like party like candidates or teammates, whatever they do when they're in the same party. But he said on news media, he's like, it's not about facts, it's about feelings and emotions. You sell people on that, and you get their vote. And that is so true in the world that we live in now. And that gets people to spend money, gets people to vote, gets people to do all sorts of stuff before they even understand or if they believe it or not, as long as they just feel it. And that's the world we live in now, where everything is hypersensitized. I mean, dude, we live in a very liberal state. You can't open a fucking door for somebody over here without them questioning.
You mentioned that several times.
Yeah, well, and because it's so common now,
Yeah.
and I just do it because that's how I grew up. It's being polite. It's not because you're transgender. It's not because you're a lady. I'm doing it to be polite, regardless if you're an 80-year-old man or you're a 15-year-old man, or if you're an 80-year-old woman or a 15-year-old woman. Like, that's what I do. And it just gets constantly questioned, and it becomes this debate, and it's because everybody's hypersensitized. Everybody's super sensitive about their feelings, and now that's a bad thing, but like when it becomes to a point where you just question everything, it's like, okay, this is ridiculous. Have some logic thrown in here, please.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane, man. And
But
people,
that's it.
people are
That's
people
how
are
they
more
sell them, man.
People are more reactive than proactive.
That's how they sell it. Everything is all fear and feeling based, and you
And
just
they're
get people
reactive to that fear.
Yeah.
They're
Vote,
reactive. They're not
money,
proactive to it. They're
support.
reactive.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking crazy, this world.
Anyways, so our next initiative, what do we got?
1634.
Initiative 1634 concerns taxation of certain items intended for human consumption. This measure would prohibit new or increased local taxes, fees, or assessments on raw or processed foods or beverages.
Oh, this
with
better not be about
exceptions,
goddamn beer.
or
Don't you touch my
ingredients
beer.
thereof, unless effective by January 15, 2018, or generally applicable. Should this measure be enacted
It's gonna
into
fuck
law.
up beer prices, huh?
So this one, I vote. I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I mean, I guess I'm being just vocal about my votes on here.
Yeah.
But
So you can find out.
yeah. I mean, again, dude, my thing is, I didn't take notes on it, and I made a decision when I researched it. So you can let me know what you think. But here's my thought on it, dude. Is if we're gonna, I don't think taxing is ever the fucking answer to a better way of life. Period. Increasing tax on something or taxing something. Because if the price of products is going to be lowered, then if consumers can't enjoy that lower price, then or take advantage of it or capitalize on it, then other organizations or companies or sections of the government or agencies are going to tax it or fee it or
I think
fine
what's
it.
interesting about this is that it says new or quit trying to play footsie with me. You can't. You
that was your foot. Oh, that was my dog.
So it says new or increased local taxes, fees, or assessments. So does assessments mean in terms of like an evaluation of a raw or processed foods or beverages? So to me, when I look at the word assessments, is that like the guideline to which it needs to meet certain criteria, like processed beef?
Yeah.
And so there's two ways I can look from just reading that. One,
assessments. Yeah.
it's
What the fuck
it's
does assessments mean?
prohibiting increased or future like higher taxes on those three things, like processed food and ingredients for human consumption. That could be beneficial in terms of big companies, like all the fast food chains that have all the really low grade beef. There's a short little news clip I watched where there was 22 out of 25 major fast food chains received a failing grade for the quality and sort of keeping of their beef products. The only two they got A's were like Shake Shack and something else. But it's like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, they all got failing grades for how they maintain and keep their hamburger beef and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's, I guess what's hard is like you look at this and trying to break down the word, it's just like, wait, so you're talking about assessments. Does that talk about evaluation on these products? If so, I would say that there should be stricter evaluations because we want to start eating healthier and doing these things, right? And
Right.
dude, but that's what's tough is like the word game in this and how you have to make it so simple so you can understand it because they do, and that's a big thing in government.
I have to say I'm undecided on it. I need to research more.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I need
how
like you said, you need it's a fucking puzzle, dude. Who needs a fucking crossword? Open your fucking voters fucking guide, your voters pamphlet,
But then
and
the
then
thing
try
is
to
too,
decipher this shit
is
out.
that so maybe if it's talking about this measure would prohibit, which means it wouldn't allow. I would want to allow if it means in terms of assessments. I want there to be stricter rules because I want the best quality products. But then does that mean
Absolutely.
that people that are doing good quality jobs, do they get a higher tax because like
Right.
organic foods? Does
Exactly.
that mean that goes up? And so then the cheaper
Exactly.
food is just cheaper and it's shittier for us. So like
Yeah.
that's the whole like. And again, got to break down the fucking wordage to make
Yeah.
it simple, stupid, dumb. So you can be like, oh,
Dude,
no, I
I've
see
been
what they're
buying
saying.
organic fucking only as much as I fucking can, dude. I've been doing the littlest fucking changes with my fucking eating, dude, and I can tell you I've done
Difference?
it now for 2 weeks. Huge difference.
Hell yeah.
I wake up at fucking 7 a.m., 6 a.m., sometimes 5, wide awake, feeling wonderful. I go to sleep feeling like a fucking champ. Dude, I've been drinking more fucking water. It's
Yes.
and dude, I'm
Water's
just saying, like,
huge.
little fucking changes, dude, from the organic version versus not organic. Does it cost more? Yes. And also, I find myself eating less because of it, because it costs more and I'm getting a smaller quantity. I'm eating smaller sections. Anyways, be healthy. Be that guy who is,
No,
does
you
does
should.
the organic thing.
Healthy
But I
body,
wanna look more
healthy
into this.
mind. Don't get sucked into dude, number one, sugars. Cut sugars out of your diet. People don't realize how much that shit is addictive, and it's everywhere, and it really does fuck
It's
with
in
you.
everything. And as soon as sometimes don't be fooled too, because there's shit out there disguised to be healthy. So you go and
It's
look at it and
not.
you're like, oh my god, this is actually worse than some of the really unhealthy shit.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
like it comes off as healthy, and it's not. Anyways, initiative. This other one we got here.
940.
Wait, I swear we skipped one. No. Initiative 940. So, Austin, let's decipher this.
All right,
Let's figure it out.
let's decipher it.
This measure would require law enforcement to receive violence de-escalation, comma, mental health, comma, and first aid training, comma, and provide first aid and change standards for use of deadly force, comma, adding a, quote, good faith, standard and independent investigation.
That last part is the fucking trickery right there. The
Yes.
start of it, says that police
They're giving you
police
mental health
officers.
training, first aid training, violence de-escalation training, sounds great, and provide first aid, okay, sounds great, and change standards for use of deadly force, okay. Was that okay?
Yeah,
That sounds good.
yeah.
Let's talk. I like that. And, and then adding a, look at, dude, it literally quotes it. Quote, good faith. It has quotes on good faith. Good faith, standard and independent investigation. By who? What, the FBI?
Yeah, I mean, that
I mean,
ending,
we
the
can
ending
find
part
out,
is
but-
the ending part is just like super open and vague. When you're
It is.
Everything it's talking about makes sense. It's saying
I do like how accountable it is with its first couple statements. I mean, if you think about it,
Yeah.
that sounds great. Do
I mean,
better training
basically,
for,
it's
for
allowing
our law
officers
enforcement?
better training to not just basically pull a deadly weapon out. So they're learning better tactics and de-escalation, first aid. I have a family member in the police force, and they don't provide first aid kits, or they have very basic ones. But he went out and bought like a really nice first aid kit that has
Yeah.
like battle gauze and all these other things in it. Battle gauze is a quick coagulant, like gauze patch to help like severe wounds. Anyways,
Okay.
that would make sense because they are first responders, and I think a lot of situations is police are there and there's somebody injured, and they don't know how to administer, don't have the tools,
Yeah.
so then they call
Totally.
the ambulance and they sit there and wait while this person is not receiving medical care.
Absolutely.
And so I would agree with that. And it says change standards for use of deadly force. Most people
we
here.
need like a Marine Corps for the public.
Yeah.
instead of like like that does it all. The guys who
Yeah,
can
like
do some
multi-tools,
fu-
basically.
Yeah, who can fucking do some.
Not
surgery.
like, I'm here to do one thing, now we need this group here to do this other
Someone
thing.
who
Because
can-
I'm not qualified, and if you die, I don't want to be in trouble for it.
Yeah, but to be medically trained to like an advanced emergency response type along with a law enforcer, I can't fathom that, man. And I'm sure it's very capable and the training can happen, and I hope that's the future we're leading towards.
Yeah.
But that's very admirable, and that's exciting to think about, man. If that's something that we can go towards where there's a trusted
I
force
think
that can do that without using deadly force and shit.
I think a big part of that too will build a better community interaction or, reputation with the police force. Can you imagine if they show up to a scene of a shooting or something violent, but the police officers are trained to administer medical
And
aid?
I'm
and
sure
not
a lot
just-
of them are to a certain extent,
Yeah.
and I'm sure a lot of them come with backgrounds that give them medical training to begin with. It's
Yeah.
we're not saying that they're not medically trained.
Oh,
or that
absolutely
they don't,
not.
A lot of them don't know how to react to that, but
It all
to
depends
your
up to
point,
departments, though. To like you're saying, the staff that they have or the actual training they're given. Just from my family member, a lot of the people in his department are all military based, but a lot of them were like Army infantry, so they have a little bit of advanced medical training, but they are more handpicked for what they do because of their tactical awareness and involvement in situations and engagements. And so he said that a lot of the times they do have to wait for like paramedics and emergency technicians to get there because they've either forgotten or they don't know how to administer, or a big part of it too is liability. Like if you administer first aid, you're sort of taking on responsibility. If something really fucks up, it can fall on you, and then you're in
Absolutely.
trouble.
You're taking someone's life as a responsibility, dude. I have so much respect for the medics in the military, and specifically in the Marines, the docs. They're part of the Navy. They're medically trained. Basically, you have doctors and surgeons that are running and behaving and trained and acting and being a Marine.
Yeah, they're on the ground.
And what I mean by that is not just Marine. I mean infantrymen.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
importantly, and for any branch in infantry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
That's so fucking impressive. And dude, to be able to do surgery in the middle of like fucking combat, do you think about the medics and shit during D-Day out there who were so advanced? Who
yeah.
saved. Think about how many. So many lives were lost, but the ones who saved a life from like intense surgery with a tent with barely anything that you could have while bullets are going over your head, like.
Yeah, it reminds me of that scene
bizarre,
in Black
man.
Hawk Down. I mean, granted, that scene was he ended up dying, but when
yeah,
they're like
that
trying
one,
to
yeah.
clamp that guy's artery, it's just like, dude, can you imagine being in that situation? But the last part is what's confusing. So it says adding a good faith in quotes standard and independent investigation. I think what's confusing about that is like in terms, what is this good faith standard? Is this
What does that mean?
Does this relate to if there's a wrongful shooting investigation? Is it a term used for like, well, he felt like he was adding in good faith to protect his fellow officers, to protect the people? Like that's the part that's vague, and that's the dangerous part. Is when something is vague but you vote yes on it, it could have a whole bunch of underlying meanings that
Exactly.
you don't know about, and so. An independent investigation to me means that it's obviously outside the department, whether it's state, federal, like maybe like the Washington Attorney General, if there's an investigation going on, like they handle it as opposed to like an internal department investigation
Right.
handling a wrongdoing. But still, to me, is a little vague. And that's, I think, a big thing like we talk about in this episode is that you really should break down and try to understand each piece because they all run together. They can really be confusing, and you just need to understand the bits of what they are to get the whole picture.
Exactly, and we're here to help with that, but also use your resources too. Take your time.
Use
I
your
mean,
noggin.
And to tie back to the Initiative 1631, the people who are voting yes for it, I'm very passionate about voting no for it. The people who are voting yes, though, I have nothing against you because I believe that the majority of people who are voting yes for it are voting yes for the right reasons in their head. And where my tenacity comes off is no one who's going to vote yes for it. It's to the people who are deceiving the message of it and who are not giving a biased, non-biased response. I mean, yeah, I'm not giving a non-biased response, of course, because that's, the way I feel about it. But to the people who are voting yes, and by people, I mean the ones who were not involved in the ripple effect of it, except for paying for it at the fucking pumps and with everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Who's
yeah.
not politically involved. And that's who most those who why most of these votes go through. Most of these votes are done by the political system, and for the people who were not involved in the political system, who are on the field to this agenda, this fucking chess game being played, we need to get involved, because they're going to vote it and sway it towards their direction, where we pay from us. The price we pay from not paying attention to voting is, look at your fucking check increase on taxes, look at the pump fucking increase as well. Look at everything increase. And look for the result of that increase. Watch and keep your eyes out for,
And that's
for
why we
life to
say
improve.
break it down. Was it registering your car now here in at least Washington State or whatnot? I remember when that shit used to be like $60, and last year the vote went and it like doubled it. I don't know if
man.
you've had to get your tabs or whatnot, but there's so many taxes, and when I went and got it, it was like $180, and I was so confused. And then I had to go back and look at the initiative. I was like, oh man. Again, break it down. Really understand what you're paying for, because
Exactly.
now it went from $60, $70 to do my tabs and get my car registered or do that whole business to now it's $180. That's a hefty amount. That's a hefty fucking amount to all of a sudden in a year have changed.
Yeah,
and then,
what's all that needed for? That's a lot for just for 365 day.
Yeah, and especially then you can. All right, so it went up 3 times. Where's my money going? Because construction and I-5 traffic is still shit.
Everything is the same.
Yeah, so get out there and vote. Break down and understand what you're doing. Do your due diligence, please, because just as the problem perpetuates, as I say, like, oh, the next generation will take care of it, if people don't start actually doing their responsibilities, it's going to continue on. And, yeah, we'll just end up like barbarians slaughtering each other. I would be down for that, but I'm going to be
Let
old.
us know what you think. If we're going off here, we're putting out our opinions out there, because that's what needs to be done, and people need to be educated. If there's shit that we need to be educated on, please let us know. Go to packxpodcast.com. There you can send some shit to us and let us know what you think. Correct us, diss us, raise a fist with us, come drink a beer with us, whatever it is you want to do. I have one more to talk about.
Send it.
Initiative 1639 concerns firearms. This measure would require increased background checks, comma, training, comma, age limitations, comma, and waiting periods for sales or delivery of semi-automatic assault rifles. Criminalize non-compliant storage upon unauthorized use, allow fees, and enact other provisions. It's always the last fucking word. And enact other provisions.
Very
what
vague.
the fuck does other provisions
Hidden. It's a hidden fucking meaning. Yeah, dude. I don't know why they do it. It's probably they've been doing it for a minute. Or
I don't like it. Here's the thing. Here's
It's
my
definitely
take real
biased,
quick on
too.
that. I agree. Look, my opinion, I am absolutely for the right to bear arms. That is the main thing that stands between us and a corrupt government, and it was what was planted by those who fought a suppressing government, and they set these laws for the future to protect the future from another corrupt government, because they knew it was bound to happen.
Yep.
And that is the last fucking wall of defense that we have up right now, and they want to take that away from us, because honestly, that is why America has not been attacked, is because America is a fucking army in itself with how many people are armed. Every time a law tries to get passed with taking the right to guns, gun sales fucking explode through the roof. America is armed to the fucking teeth with when it comes to bullets on the ground. And so, going back to that now, I agree. Semi-automatic rifles, right? What's the I don't know about, taking them away. I don't know enough to necessarily, say go for this initiative.
So it's basically saying that there should be, the first part of it is saying that there should be more extensive background checks and
That all
just
sounds
making
great.
sure safer, which I think the majority of people agree with, because the majority of people
Fuck yeah, man.
are good people. So if they're not going to go shoot up a school, they don't mind waiting a longer time doing extensive background checks to get their rifle.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, at the very end when it says
And
enact other provisions,
That also means that you can't
Super
store
vague.
a fucking pistol in your home anymore.
well, yeah,
If you do that and that. Oh, but now that it's the year 2025, we're gonna add this and this reason to this law.
yeah.
And now it's this, and there you go. Fucking guns
You know,
are taken away.
what's interesting.
It could
is
be, I don't know.
It's as
Maybe not.
backwards. I was backwards thing is not the right way to use, but second, somebody bad does something with you. It's not even like a weapon. I mean, they are firearms, but
How many bad
for
things
instance,
happen with
for instance,
semi-automatics?
I go to the YMCA gym a lot. You're not allowed to have blades on campus. I understand that because it's a college campus. I always have my Leatherman though. Like it's a tool, and it has a blade on it. It's small, but it's like one of those things where like you pat down to make sure you have your wallet, keys, cell phone. Like wallet,
Right.
keys, cell phone, and Leatherman is what I always have on me.
Right.
And what's interesting to me is I look at it and I just sort of go like, man, I can understand why they wouldn't want like a pocket knife, why they wouldn't want a machete. But here's the thing: is that so that's for every good person. We follow these rules of like you're not allowed to have this here. If somebody wanted to do harm, they could walk in there with an axe and just start chopping people up. And what would we have? We would have nothing. So
Right.
now that sounds extreme. So let me make it
Right.
even more real. I heard on NPR about college campuses are going to start carrying Narcan, which is the
I heard about that, too.
overdose sort of like deneutralizer for people that are ODing.
Yeah.
And then the argument for it was, well, won't that make kids want to do drugs more? And I sit there and I'm just like, what a dumb fucking way to think. So like, what we should do is we shouldn't have it to say if people are going to do drugs, it doesn't matter. We have Pedialyte. Why do people drink to excess? It's not because we have Pedialyte available. It's because people
Right.
want to get fucking drunk. It doesn't matter if there's Pedialyte or there's some miracle drug to not have you a hangover. People are going to drink to excess.
Right.
And so I don't think having Narcan on campus is going to promote people to do more
we
drugs.
should. That's a great example, man.
Just
we shouldn't
like-
have Pedialyte because then people will drink more.
Yeah, and so then I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? I would feel more comfortable if I could bring like my pocket knife to the gym. You know why? Because I know I'm not going to stab somebody with it. But if somebody crazy comes in and they have a fucking machete, it would be nice to have my pocket knife with me.
Right.
Granted, there's barbells and other things I
Or
could
if
throw
some
at 'em.
motherfucker doesn't even try to do that, something more realistic, like someone wants to just punch you
Yeah,
in the
or a
fucking
bat.
gut
Yeah.
and jack your fucking phone and wallet.
Exactly. So it's. I think this falls on that same line where it's this fear of like, oh, people have been using this for evil, so therefore we need to deneutralize it for everyone. When I think,
Exactly.
A
To
lot
tie
of-
back to the beginning, what you said, fear.
yeah, a lot of people don't have that in mind, and I feel that a lot of people get punished for the evil of a small group.
Well fucking said.
And that's what's
Yeah.
frustrating about it is it's like, okay, cool. And then of course the classic argument too of like, okay, so you're gonna make this a harder task to have or people to carry or like blah blah blah. Like maybe this enact other provisions means you can have an assault rifle but can only carry 5 rounds in a mag. Awesome.
Yeah.
So then all the evil people or bad people out there that want to have 30-round magazines, when they start shooting rampages and somebody's like, they're like, oh, like I have a pistol, but I can only have 5 rounds in it. It's like, great, somebody trying to do good, but here they are put at a disadvantage because we're just so oversensitized to being, oh, like, well, let's just deneutralize everything so nobody can be evil. No, that's always going to be there. That's a real in this fucking world. It's always going to be there. It's not saying you need to be a prepper. It doesn't mean that you need to have your fucking tactical USP 45 with a
Right.
silencer and a bayonet on it
Yeah.
around every corner, but it's just something to be aware of.
Well, that's how you control stuff, man. I mean, think about it. It's a way to enforce government is fear. All right.
Yep.
Why do we have a government? Because we fear not having it.
Yep.
We fear someone coming upon our shores. We fear the police not answering our call when someone kicks down our door.
Yeah.
We fear a doctor not being able to save us if we break something or fucking eat
Mhm.
some poison. And ultimately that's what brings it to it. Fear is what creates everything.
Yep.
Man,
It feels a lot.
It
And
enforces
I'll have you guys
capitalism.
know, I don't own any guns. I've shot very few guns. And I'm pro-gun just for, like Lloyd said earlier, like this was implemented because we had a tyrannical government or a controlling government that was trying to make us do
Right.
one thing, and that was how we fought back. Happened in the medieval ages all the time. So
I've
for
lost a dear good friend who's actually hanging on the wall right now, staring at us, to a gun. and I'm still for guns. You know, sure, maybe if the law wasn't there, that wouldn't have happened, but he was for it. He
Yep.
was for that right, and for the right reason.
Yep.
But life's unfortunate, and it can get you. But, anyways, we don't want to end on a negative, sad note.
No way, man.
We don't want to be sad. We're happy, and we get fired up about this shit, and it's important. It's really important to go over. More importantly than the importance of going it over, I want to hear opinions. I want to hear facts. I want to be corrected. I want someone to tell me something that I don't know. I
Yep.
want to learn. I want to discover stuff, because if this is now the time to vote and make a decision and to be part of the influence of change, let's fucking do it. Let's come together. Let's educate each other. Stop hiding. Stop only liking and quick commenting. Don't do that. It just fuels the fire. Go send emails. Go call. Go talk to people in their face. Go discuss things in public. Be involved. Talk about things. Let people know your discoveries. Don't be afraid to call bullshit on something that smells bullshit. Stop being afraid of being wrong. Joe Rogan said on his podcast, people are so afraid. The reason why conspiracies are so well hidden is because people are terrified of being wrong. They don't want to be wrong about something. Don't be afraid of that. I could be completely wrong with everything I've been talking about as far as these initiatives go, but I'm willing to take that risk to shout it out, and I'm awaiting to be corrected.
Yep.
So let's fucking go.
That's why it's a discussion. That's why it's great. And that's what we all should be having, is discussions, as opposed to just shooting comments back and forth.
Yeah.
Like you're in some fucking internet war.
Because that does absolutely fucking nothing. Your vote does. Your vote fucking does
Now,
something.
educate yourself, honestly. Like, when you just talking about, like, be fucking wrong, be willing to be humble so you can learn. Because when you know what
Absolutely.
they'll do, it'll progress your mind and it'll progress your life.
I spoke that with my kids today. I looked at
Seriously?
her and I said, one of the most important traits of growing up is being able to acknowledge when you're wrong, and being able to adapt and pivot and adjust from that and learn from
Yep.
it. That's one of the most important things in life.
And that's
period.
how, yeah, dude. Well said.
Well, I'll cheers to that.
Yes. Cheers to that.
To the
Cheers to the
champagne
man
and
hanging on the
beers.
wall.
That's right, the man hanging on the wall. Alex, I'll say his fucking name, Alex Hayden. I fucking love you. Fucking love you, brother.
Good soul.
Yes, sir. Anyways, everyone, thanks for tuning in. This was episode 25. We didn't actually introduce ourselves at the beginning. I am your host, Lloyd.
We did, but I'm Austin.
We did?
Yeah, we did. It's okay. I love doing it again, too.
Yeah, we'll do it again. I'll say it again.
I'm Lloyd. This is Austin.
I'm Austin. I'm Austin Lloyd. Lloyd Austin. Stone Cold Lloyd Austin.
Oh.
Oh shit, that got weird. Yeah, check us out at the website packxpodcast.com. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Give us those downloads. Those downloads
Yeah.
are seriously the way to
Download,
go.
listen, talk to us, critique us. That's what we're here for. It's open discussion. We'd love to hear it.
It is open discussion. We love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Yes, episode 26.
Adios.